Hey guys, Michael Wood here. I wanted to do a little video today to go through some stuff that I just recently picked up here. I've got a few things back here that I've been working with. This is all I do right now for inventory is that one corner shelf set there. And then I've got my light box here to take pictures. But with Etsy, I've been selling quite a few of these little spoons. Well, they're not spoons, they're spoon blanks for people to carve their own spoons. So I want to show you what I got here, just picked up today, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So stick around. Hey, thanks for coming by and sticking around with me here. I want to show you a lot of iPhones that I ended up with here today. And this is a monthly bid that I do each month, and most times I'll put out thousands of dollars in bids and not get anything, or very little. In fact, last month I think I won maybe $30 out of thousands that I put on bids. But this month was a little different, and I talked to the auction house, and they stated that most likely one of the reasons is one of their main bidders didn't bid on anything this month. So who knows what is going on there, but I'm grateful for it because I placed bids on these to a position where I can at least double my money, and some of them better than that. So what I ended up with here is $3,300. $3,328 was what I paid today, and out of this I got 45 working iPhones and an iPad there. So that's a pretty cool haul. So what I'm going to do with this is my plans were to put these on a local place. In fact, I've been picking some up off of eBay and selling them locally and making pretty good money locally doing it that way. But these I got low enough that I'll be able to put these up on eBay with a lot of them and probably move them a lot faster. eBay's a much bigger marketplace. So really what I want to talk about a little bit today is to encourage you to be open. There are three main things that I say with trying to run a business, especially if you're doing an eBay business. Number one, be open. Be open to all opportunities. Be constantly looking. Number two, be creative. Stay creative. I mean, I've got those spoons up there, for example, that I'm doing on Etsy rather than eBay, but I could sell some of those on eBay as well. Be creative. Look for opportunities and different things that you can do. Be willing to expand your skill set, but allow that creative thought. If you want to grow, and this moves us into the number 3 item, if you want to grow and become more than you are, then you've got to look for opportunities to change. And that is one of the most important things. Too many people today look at how they are now, and that's all you can see. You don't see how you can improve or how you can take a step forward or a step up. You're only looking at what you are now. And if that's all you're looking at is what you are now, then you're never going to create. This, my whole ViperSharp system that was created, that's something that I wouldn't have done if I was focused on only what I had at the moment or what I had when this idea came to mind. You don't grow by staying where you are. So you got to remember, if you're trying to grow, if you're trying to change who you are, if you're trying to become something more, and it doesn't matter what part of life you're working on, if you want to lose weight, if you want to get a better job, if you want to build a business, whatever it is you want to do requires change. So don't forget to look at what you have, but realize that you must gain more somehow, some way, there's got to be change there. And so that's really important to think about, is to look at where you can go, not just where you are. And so that's one of the biggest tips I'm going to give you is when it comes to motivation and becoming more and doing more with your life, you are not always going to be who you are today. In fact, you will never be who you are today. Everybody changes, better or worse. We always change. That is the one constant. Now, you might think that nothing's changed in your life and everything's going the same and everything's miserable, and quit focusing on that first. Stop that. Just stop it. Knock it off, because there are better things to come along. All right? But if you don't recognize that, if you don't see that there are better things, then there may be worse things coming along for you, right? Because what's up here, what you're thinking about, is what creates your reality. So recognize that you are not limited to your current resources. If you look at what I'm teaching and you say, well, I can't do eBay because I don't have a place to store all that stuff. Nonsense. I've got $3,000 worth of iPhones in there that are worth $5,000 or $6,000. That's a box, right? It doesn't take much space. But if I needed to have a storage unit with that much money coming in, could I afford to go get a storage unit? Absolutely, you bet. Can I afford to be a little inconvenienced with putting a box under my bed for a month? Absolutely. It might only take a week, right? You have to be willing to change if you want to change. Okay? So keep that in mind. You are not limited to who you are today. You are not limited to the resources you have today. If you want to grow, if you want to become more, then allow it. Allow it. Stop preventing yourself from growing by telling yourself that you don't have this, that, or the other. Stop doing that. You have everything that you need, and everything else that currently isn't in your life, you can get. You can gain it, you can find it, you can have everything that you need to make this work. But you've got to believe it first. And that's one of the big things. So recognize that growth requires growth. It requires that you think about the opportunities to grow, and then you look at what you need. But don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Start by eliminating all the negative thought, and then go do it. So let's go see what I can make out of these iPhones here. I'm going to throw you onto the computer and do a little bit of looking there. Okay, so on the computer, this is what I wanted to show you. My audio wasn't working, so we'll go through it here. But I have this iPad 5th gen, 32 gigabyte. And most of these other things I have already researched the prices, but I haven't researched the price on this one. And so that one I want to look at. We're going to go to eBay and check it out there. And then we're also going to go into KSL, my local classified option, and check it out there. And there we are looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a great investment. If you guys want to know about how to invest in Bitcoin or other coins, there's some phenomenal options there. So get a hold of me, email me, comment, let me know, but I can show you how to make some great returns with that, upwards of 15% monthly, which is pretty cool. So this KSL, this is a local classified site. This is a company a news company here locally that has a free classifieds option for us. So it's a great place to find things, great place to list things for sale. I've even bought items from eBay and listed them on KSL Classifieds. So there's a lot of options here. So we'll search for the iPad 5th gen. I initially did this search with the keywords iPad 5th gen, 32 GB, and nothing came up. So I thought, all right, well, let's shorten this search. And so I got rid of that gen and 3 GB and ran the search again. And this shows you a little bit about the importance of keywords in your title. Nobody had gen in their title. Nobody had 32 gigabytes or 32 GB in their title, and so none of those listings came up. And so that tells me that I can improve on the listings I do as well, because I know some of these I put up kind of hastily, the ones I got from eBay initially. Now I've got 47 more listings to do. I want to be as complete as I can with all the keywords on this, because that's going to get me more money. More eyes on my product means more money faster, basically. And so these guys are missing some of those. And I went through and I looked at some of them to see what they sold for, to get an idea of what it could be. And then I also pulled up my listings here in another tab to show you what I could do better with some of those. So if we sign into that, and while we're waiting for that to sign in, I pop back over here to eBay to show you. So we've got 1,000 results. If I take out the some of those keywords and simplify this over here, so we take out gen and just do iPad 5th 32 GB, I actually got lower results, which was kind of curious to me, because normally if you have fewer keywords, you're going to see more results in eBay. So let's go back and look at the one that had a little bit higher. I like to compare with the most numbers possible. And so that's what we're looking at here. Then we scroll down on the left-hand column over here to go to sold items only. So we want to show only sold items. So we click on that, and then I pop back over here to look at my listings to show you, hey, I do have room for improvement, because look at this. I've got this Apple iPhone SE first gen gold unlocked, 64 gigabytes listed. And yeah, unlocked means it can go to any carrier, but what if somebody searches for a carrier? Then just like I did my search, my listing won't come up. And so I went ahead and edited this and went in here and added a bunch of carrier names in there. So we can just do a string of those carrier names. And also keep in mind that people type this differently sometimes. So T-Mobile might be T-Mobile, or it might be T-Mobile with no hyphen, right? AT&T might be ATT, or it might be AT&T, so I'm going to put it in both ways. So if you have words like that where people might spell them differently or misspell them commonly, then we want to think about that when we're creating titles, whether it's on eBay, Etsy, classified sites. Our own website, we don't want to put misspellings in there, but on these third-party sites, that's something where we want to do that, okay? Because their search algorithm doesn't work as well as Google's does. Google's going to pick up on all that, and so we don't have to do that on our own website. It could actually be detrimental to us on our own personal website. So the next thing I did here is I wanted to be able to make these adjustments on more than just this one without having to type it in every time. And so I'm going to copy and paste this into a document, these things that I added, so that I can easily just copy and paste each time. Okay? And so then we'll complete that listing, and then I can go back and edit some of the others when I want to. So now back looking at my list here, and this is where I went in and summed up some things to look at the totals. I got rid of a sheet there that I didn't need. And then we summed up a total for all of my potential profit and costs and things on the sheet here. Okay, so that's something that we have to think about and look at when we're doing these. Now I come back to eBay and notice that it didn't do the sold listings, so I clicked on that again, and here we are looking at sold listings. And one of these, 64 gigabytes, sold for $300. Well, that's That's not the same as mine, right? It's unusual for eBay to show things that don't relate to all of the keywords, but we're seeing they're doing that a little bit today here. So no worries, we'll scroll down and we'll look at others. And then one of the things that I did, after scrolling just a little bit, trying to find those that were 32 gigs, is just do a Control F, or on a Mac, Command F, and do a search for that 32 gigabytes. And then each time you press enter, it takes you to the next one. And look at all of these I have down the page. And so then I could start seeing those that were actually related to my search and what they were selling for. And I saw quite a few selling at this 179, 177 range. So that's making me confident that I can sell this for around that range. Okay? So we look at a few of those. I'm not going to take you through all of that. And we'll pop back over to the spreadsheet. And so here on the spreadsheet, we can enter that amount in there. I need my next video for that. So we look at the KSL, we're looking at about 150 bucks, I believe, is that's the lowest price. That's the exact match. That's 32 gigabyte right there. So if somebody else is asking 150, I can ask 150. I might even be able to ask a little more. I might be able to get 200 bucks for that if I use keywords that are relevant that they aren't using. Okay. So I just looked at a little bit of that. Some of these aren't relevant. A lot of these just aren't listing the data like they should. So I could get 170 from eBay, 180 really, I guess. 150 from KSL. Now eBay, of course, is going to have fees, so that's going to come down to more like a 140 range after all is said and done, where locally I don't have any fees. Okay. So total all of this up and enter some profit potential here. And this is where things get fun, right? This is where we get to look at the profit. So I'm spending $32 or 32.28, 3,228 bucks was my cost on this. So if I want to estimate profit, well, if we're selling it on eBay for $47.50, then I'm looking at 1,500 bucks profit. So there's 50% return probably within a week or two, because they'll sell fast. They're popular items. If I do it locally, I could possibly make as much as 2,200, so quite a bit more. So the next thing we want to look at is what is our hourly, right? If we're looking at this per hour, what's my profit on this? Well, even if you spend 40 hours, even if it does take us 40 hours, which honestly it shouldn't take 40 hours to do these listings. It's unlikely it's going to take that long for me. But even if we're looking at 40 hours time to make 1,500 bucks, that's 38 bucks an hour. If we make more, if we do the 2,000, 2,200, $55 an hour. Now, I don't know what you're making hourly, but that's more than I would make at a job, and that's not bad. Now, realistically, though, I think it's going to be more like half that time, maybe even less. So I went in and changed it to 1,500 bucks an hour minimum. And if we sell them at higher prices, 15 hours, 150 bucks, $146 an hour. But realistically, I think I can do it in 10. I really do. So now I had a little surprise as I was going through this, and I thought I was done, and I signed off and said, hey, subscribe, like the video, and please do. If you like what you're seeing here, please subscribe. Drop a comment, questions, anything like that in the comments. I'd love to answer those. I answer all comments. But that helps the algorithm here. But then I went back to my auction totals, and I found that I actually had more items than expected. And so let's pull that up. What do we have here? I think that's this one right here. And what I found was, oh boy, I've got 2 more items than expected here. So that's why my price was a little off from what I had originally estimated. I was estimating just over 3,100 or something. It actually ended up 32.28 total that I paid for this. Well, the reason was I had 2 other phones in there that I'd paid $101 for each. And a couple of things that I found here was that one of those I had underpriced. The iPhone 7 with 128 gigabytes actually will go for about 180 bucks, either local or on eBay, I think. And so there's a lot more profit there than expected. And so now I'm looking at 100 plus to 250 per hour for the time that I'm going to spend on this. Okay. So if we go and adjust, now let's go back to my spreadsheet here. So the 128, I'm looking at 180 bucks, and I've got one up here that's lower. So we're going to put that up to where it ought to be, because I must have been thinking those were 32 gigabytes. So I've actually got a higher price point on those, and there's several of them. As I scroll up through here, I see those. Let's see, we got here's an iPhone 6, 128, iPhone 6, 128. I'm going to leave those alone, although those are different too. Battery's a little lower on that, but honestly, I think I can still get 150 on those, because that's not all that bad. All right, so now look at those totals. Now we're looking at close to 6,000, like barely under 6,000. I may be able to break 6,000 on these, which is almost doubling my money. And so we're close to $300 potential on profit there if I can do all this in 10 hours. So I'm going to get to work and see what I can do with it. I hope you guys loved the video. Check back with me. Go ahead and subscribe. Click the bell so that you can get notified of next videos coming up, and I'll let you know what I've got going on and how I can help you progress to improve in your own business. Again, drop a comment or email me if you have questions about the Bitcoin investing. Bitcoin's a great place. That whole cryptocurrency stuff is blowing up, and there's a lot to be made there, I've learned recently. And so, hey, I found some options I can share with you that might help you make some passive income. That one's more of a long-term thing. I'm taking my retirement out, for example, and putting into this that I found, rather than leaving it in the stock market in retirement, because I think I'd rather be a millionaire in a couple of years. So anyway, let me know if you have questions about that. Have a great day.